These long dog days of summer, I mean, we just made it through a heat wave. Mama was parched through this heat wave. I was hitting up Dunkin' every single day, and I will continue to probably for the rest of my days, but especially this summer. Dunkin' is helping everyone stay cool this summer with its lineup of refreshers. These drinks are packed with bold, fruity flavors and served ice cold. It's amazing. Dunkin' refreshers are the perfect afternoon pick-me-up. I like to start my morning with them personally, and then sometimes I go back for a second one because I'm just feeling crazy. They come in a variety of delicious flavors, including fan favorites mango pineapple and strawberry dragon fruit. And then for a limited time, there's black cherry and there's pink pineapple. I'm going to tell you something right now, and it's a bold claim, let me tell you, but I stand behind it. Pink pineapple will change your life. It is so good. It has me feeling like I'm sitting in a pool, resort side, just living, honey. It's so yummy. Try your favorite flavor with green tea, sparkling water, lemonade, or Dunkin's all-new limeade. I haven't tried the limeade yet, but I'm going to. Usually I get my drinks made with green tea and occasionally lemonade, but I do really like the green tea. Or if you don't want to build your own, try one of Dunkin's curated refreshers like the Cherry Lime Ricky or the Ultimate Pink Daydream. The Cherry Lime Ricky, scrumptious. I could drink like 3 of these a day. They're so freaking yummy. Head to Dunkin' today and find your favorite refresher. Dunkin' refreshers contain less than 1% fruit juice. Limited time offer. You know what's really terrifying? That unfinished college degree lurking in the background, just sitting there, waiting for you. That's where Southern New Hampshire University comes in. With flexible online degree programs, there's no commuting, no rigid schedule, and no more excuses. Plus, they have some of the lowest online tuition rates in the U.S. Visit snhu.edu/morbid to learn more before your degree becomes just another story about what could have been. Chilling crime cases are mysterious, but finding coverage shouldn't be. With the State Farm Personal Price Plan, you have options and can personalize your plan to help create an affordable price so you can get back to cracking all of life's bigger cases. Talk to a State Farm agent today to learn how you can choose to bundle and save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Head to statefarm.com to get a quote. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Hey weirdos, my name is Ash.
And I'm Alaina.
And this is a mini Morbid.
Mini Morbid. Mini Morbid. It's so little.
So little tiny small.
I can't even see it.
You can't see it? How are you gonna read it?
I can see it.
Oh.
Just kidding.
This is what she's telling me, folks. She's telling me that it's a real mini.
It really is.
We'll find out.
Guys, I promise it's an actual mini. I swear, mainly because I'm tired this week. And this case just happens to be a mini.
Is it little tiny small?
It's little tiny small.
Oh, I made a really gross mouth noise just then that you're gonna die when you edit out later.
Cool.
Sorry.
Thanks.
What did everyone do for Halloween?
Yeah, I hope you guys all had a spooky, ooky, spectacular Halloween. On the Facebook page, people have been posting photos of all their Halloween costumes, and you guys fucking kill it.
I'm just saying, whoever dressed up as old Greg, you won everything because that's been my favorite video since when did I even find that?
It's true. She found that way young.
I think I was probably like 9 or 10. And me and my best friend Allison at the time used to literally watch it over and over again, yell about it to each other. Be like, do you love me?
Do you love me?
Could you learn to love me?
And you know what's funny? The guy who plays old Greg. So Ash used to tell me about this all the time. And I was like, yeah, okay.
And she never
Cool.
thought it was funny, everybody.
Well, I never watched it.
Oh, you didn't watch it?
Yeah, I never watched it. I was always just like, yeah, I've seen like I know what it is. I've seen like the screenshot of it. And
But
I'm good.
She never laughed at my impersonations of old Greg.
I didn't. And then Mama loves the Great British Bake Off.
And by mama, she means herself and not me.
Except Ash watches it literally every time I put it on. So
I have no choice.
she can pretend, but she loves it. But I really love it.
Yeah, you get into it.
I love baking shows of all kinds and cooking shows. So that's just who I am as a person. But the Great British Bake Off is so soothing and so wonderful. And the guy who hosts it, what's his fucking name?
Old Greg.
His name is not Old Greg, but the comedian / actor / whatever he is, he's one of the hosts now, and he's the guy who is Old Greg. And when he mentioned it on an episode, I was like, whoa, Ash, it's Old Greg hosting. So our worlds collided.
I
in
just
the
want to
best
know.
way.
I want to know why he hasn't said anything on the baking show about it.
He did. That's what I just said.
Oh, he said it.
Yeah.
He said it on the show.
Yeah, on the show. He
Oh.
said, I used to play a merman named Old Greg.
I love
And
that.
somebody was like, that's cool.
And then somebody else was like, "You have a drunk Bailey's from a shoe."
And now I've watched it and it's hilarious. So now I'm in.
I do watercolors.
So you know what? Good job, Old Greg.
Mother liquor.
Good job, person who dressed up as Old Greg. You killed it.
It made my whole year.
So yeah, everybody did an amazing job. There were a bunch of like Beetlejuices. There were a lot of Addams Family. There was just so many good ones. So you guys killed it, per usual. This year I just brought my kids out because it was actually kind of warm outside, which was kind of nice. And down the street from us, there's this house that in front of it, it has this like weird, like almost like a mausoleum looking thing that sits on the sidewalk. So
It's
you
very creepy.
Yeah, you walk by like the door to the mausoleum kind of thing. And it's always spooky. It's always been this spooky thing. And then on Halloween, the owner of the house is brilliant. And they open it up and they put a fog machine in there and lights. And they make it like a little haunted mausoleum that everybody can go into. And the owner's in there dressed up, like spooking you out.
That's so cool.
So we went by. Now my kids are 3.5 years old. We go by it and I'm like, oh yeah, it's fine. Let's just scoot by it because I didn't want them to get freaked out. And as we're going by, one of my kids was like, whoa, 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 Mom. Wait a second. I want to go in the cave. And I was like, what? I was like, well, it's a little spooky in there. Are you sure? And she was like, I want to go in the cave. We went to like 6 more
Say
houses.
what she said.
The entire time she's like getting free candy. And she's like, but I'd like to go in the cave. I don't want to trick or treat anymore. And I was like, okay, it's spooky. And she goes, I love spooky, Mama. And I was like,
And then Alaina
I've done it
melted
right.
into a puddle on the floor and died.
I have done it right.
And then she became resurrected.
Yes. And then I took my 3.5-year-old into this mausoleum room and she loved it. The other one, not so much. She gave it a try, but then she was like, no. And she had John pick her up. But one of them was into it.
I straight up fell asleep at 7:30 on Halloween because it was the day after our live show and I hit a motherfucking wall from all the adrenaline. But don't worry, I woke up like an hour later and watched Texas Chainsaw by myself.
I love that for you.
It was so soothing.
We actually, because that's one of my favorite parts of Halloween is that every single horror movie ever is on.
Yes.
And you can just flick through the channels and just hit all kinds of them. So I go through and Beetlejuice is on. So I'm like, oh, hell yeah. So I go to Beetlejuice and John's like, yeah, I've never seen this movie.
I've never seen Beetlejuice the whole way through. I've only seen bits and pieces.
Who are both of you? Who are
Mash.
both of these people that are in my house right now?
Get the fuck out of my house.
Luckily, because I was like, oh no, this could change our relationship. If we watch this and he's like, this is dumb, I'm going to be like, what's happening now? And we watched it and John was like, all right, that's a sick movie. Like he loved it.
I have the bits and pieces I've seen have been good pieces.
He loved it. And now I have to get him to watch The Addams Family and Addams Family Values because he never saw those either.
Unpopular opinion, I don't love the original Addams Family.
No, Addams Family Values is way better.
I like Addams Family Values.
I don't think that's an unpopular opinion. I like the original one.
Yeah, me too.
But the Addams Family Values is superior.
Mm-hmm. I like when she's like, Wednesday's at the age where she only has one thing on her mind. And the mom is like, boys. And Wednesday's like, homicide. Because I feel as though that was you as a child.
It's 100%. I think I related so hard to Wednesday Addams in that when I was little.
I love that for you.
But enough about all my spooky childhood shit. This is a mini episode, so we've actually done more talking than we normally do.
Let's shut the fuck up.
Let's shut the fuck up and get to the case, shall we?
We shalleth.
All right. Let me preface this. I debated whether to preface this story with it having a happy ending or not ahead of time. I'm going to preface it with it has a happy ending because it it kind of needs to be prefaced that way.
Okay.
I know I needed to hear that. And I have a lot of like quotes from the people involved in it, so it kind of gives that away.
It's like
using
7
those
o'clock
quotes.
in the morning. Are you gonna really fuck me up?
I mean, it's not like gruesome. It's more just like slightly disturbing. But it has a happy ending.
I have to do 7 blow dries later, so don't be fucking up my day.
I'm gonna fuck up your. No, I'm gonna make it okay at the end.
Okay.
So this was from July 15th, 1976.
Ooh, vintage.
Very vintage. And actually, I am going to bring up the person who suggested this case right now, because they suggested it to me like literally yesterday. And when they did, I just happened to like peek at it and I was like, oh, I'll take a look at it real quick, because I take a look at the cases you give me that I don't know. And this person's name was Thomas. So thank you, Thomas. I'm not going to say your last name because I don't know if you want me to. But I looked this up, and when I looked it up, I was like, oh, this is perfect for a mini, and I have to do it now because I was just so fascinated by it.
You like threw your other mini out the window.
I literally did, and I couldn't believe I had never heard of this.
Well, tell me what
So
happened.
It took place in Chowchilla, California, and it's known as the Schoolbus Kidnapping of 1976.
Oh.
So, the day before the final day of summer school at Dairyland Elementary School, 26 children ranging in age from 5 to 14 were on a bus to be brought back to their homes. The bus was driven by Edward Ray. He was known as Ed, but his name was Frank Edward Ray. He was previously a farmer, but he later became a bus driver. The kids absolutely loved him, and he was just one of those bus drivers that we all remember that we loved. You know, those like... They were just nice, sweet. They clearly loved kids. They cared about you. Like the total opposite of the bus driver that you remember that like hated kids and was the worst bus driver ever.
I never had a bad bus driver.
Really?
No.
I thought everybody had like that warm, fuzzy bus driver and then that like demon spot.
Oh, wait. I had a bus driver one time and I was little and I forgot to get off at my stop. And then he kept going and I was like, no, like you're supposed to stop there. And he was like, well, you missed it. And I was like, I'm 5.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So you did have a terrible bus driver.
I did. I think you just resurrected a memory.
Yeah, I was going to say that was a deeply buried memory that you
was
had.
a deep cut.
So Ed was great. Like, and Ed was legitimately great. Like, we love Ed. Now, according to a CNN report on the case, the kids all loved this summer school so much as well that they all signed a petition that day to have it last 2 more weeks.
Shut up. That's so cute.
Isn't that adorable?
I would never have signed that petition.
No, but apparently it was all that, like, they have all these interviews with these kids now because, again, this has a happy ending. And they all talk about how, like, it was, like, so much fun. They loved it. It was almost like a summer camp kind of thing. So these were all just happy kids who were going home after a fun day at summer school. While driving down a rural road, rural is so hard to say.
Truly.
A rural road.
Road.
Rural road.
A
The
road.
The rural juror. The bus came across a white creep van that had parked across the road and was blocking their way a bit. Yes. The bus had to maneuver around it to get by, and as they went by, Ed, being the kind man he was, noticed the hood was up in the van. So he stopped briefly and just called out the window, "Does anyone need any help?" Because he thought this person had broken down.
Don't ever offer help.
Yeah.
Don't ever offer help. What?
I think I said this at the live show to somebody, I don't remember who, but like my main like affirmation that I use in life is never help anyone.
Yeah.
That's just never help anyone. I just won't do it. So as soon as he offered the help, 3 men with pantyhose over their heads jumped on the bus with guns.
What?
Sawed-off shotguns.
What?
Pointed at this kind man and a bus full of essentially babies.
What?
Yeah. And I use the term men very loosely here.
Let's say creatures.
Because what man or human jumps on a bus full of children with a kindly older bus driver with a sawed-off shotgun?
Not any man's I'm trying to know.
This case made me I was so angry by the end of it at these guys.
Because you have kids.
And they're all alive and like literally fuck all of you. Because, like, these guys are disgusting.
I just want to know what the whole point of this thing is.
Oh, it's ridiculous. There really is. This is the worst part.
Oh, is there
There's
no
hardly
point?
a point to this.
Keep going.
There is, but it's a stupid point. The men were 24-year-old Fred Woods, 24-year-old James Schoenfeld, and his younger brother, 22-year-old Richard Schoenfeld.
I was expecting them to not be 22 and 24. Right? That's wild.
It's because it's frustrating. All three of these guys had come from rich families, and Fred had a trust fund of like over $100 million waiting for him.
So Fred, what the fuck you be doing?
So what are you doing? So you may be wondering why the fuck they did this. Well, I'll tell you in a bit. They demanded Ed to go to the back of the bus, and they screamed at the kids to shut up and follow orders. Of course, the kids are freaking out, and Ed was just trying to calm them all down. One of the survivors, Jennifer Brown Hyde, as an adult, said in an interview, quote, Edward kept telling his kids just be quiet, sit down, do what they say. Edward was speaking in a harsh tone, and that normally was not Edward. That normally was not the Edward that we knew and loved. So poor Ed is trying to be like, guys, like, sit the fuck down, be like trying really, and he's trying to be like
Stern.
A little more firm with them to make them listen, because he knows if they don't listen,
we're fucked.
This could get really bad really fast.
I have one of those lumps. I'm gonna start crying.
Oh, while I was reading it, there was a couple of times I was like, oh no, what if I cry on the podcast for the first time?
Oh God. So that means I'm definitely gonna cry.
Yeah, you might cry. The youngest baby on the bus was a little girl named Monica, and she was only 5 years old.
No.
And there's 3 men with sawed-off shotguns yelling at them. Now, apparently, like I said, the kidnappers were wearing pantyhose over their heads, but they wore them so that the legs dangled down, like, next to their heads.
Which is stupid.
So, like bunny ears. So Monica asked one of them if he was the Easter Bunny.
And here I go, sobbing.
I mean, when I heard that, this little 5-year-old is like, are you the Easter Bunny? And this guy has, like, a sawed-off shotgun in her face, and she's like, are you the Easter Bunny?
Oh, my God.
Like, this poor little baby.
Oh, my
She's
God.
She's like, what the fuck is Easter Bunny doing right now?
What are you?
And that must have been, So one of the men was pointing the shotgun at these children, while another one drove the bus. He drove the bus straight through a bamboo field, and all of these kids in the bus were jolting around. They said they were being thrown around in the bus. Like, it was really aggressive and awful. When it finally came to a stop in the bamboo field, there was another van waiting for them.
No.
The men pulled the bus up to the back of that van and forced half the kids in there, and the other half with Ed, the driver, into the white van that they initially used. The vans were outfitted with wood paneling and blacked out windows. They had made the kids jump from the bus to the vans so they wouldn't leave any footprints. So this was very planned.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, one of the survivors, Larry Park, who is amazing, I'll tell you why later, told CBS News, quote, as a 6-year-old,
oh my God,
only 6 years old, the only way that I can describe this darkness in the van is that it was trying to get me. Like, these poor kids are in pitch black in these vans.
My God.
And they're all crammed in there. The kidnapper drove these kids in two vans, blacked out vans, in 100-degree weather. They were 100 degrees in those vans.
Oh my God.
Want to know how long they drove them for?
Like hours.
11 hours.
11 hours?
11 hours straight with no water, no bathroom breaks. So these poor children are not drinking water. They're all screaming and crying. Some of them are as young as 5 years old,
and
6
they're
years
probably
old.
getting like dehydrated.
They're peeing. They're like nowhere to go to the bathroom. Some of them are vomiting. Like they're stuck in these tiny little vans.
Oh my God.
And yeah. And poor Ed is in one of the vans with one of them just trying to keep them all like...
I'm probably like, what the fuck is happening in the other van?
And he's sitting there thinking, I don't know what's going to happen. And I'm having to tell these kids everything's going to be all right. And I don't know that everything's going to be all right.
And if you're sitting in that position, you're like, everything is surely not going to be all right.
He's responsible for these 26 babies. And he's instead of like just cowering and being like, I don't know what's going to happen and crying himself, which I probably would.
Yeah.
He's like stepping up and being like, I need to be, I might die.
Right.
But I need to pretend that I'm not scared of that for these kids. Like that, this guy's amazing. Like, we love Ed.
This part of the show is brought to you by Anua, the Korean skincare brand known for scientific, gentle, yet effective formulations. The latest from Anua is the Retinol Collagen Gua Sha Cream, a firming cream with a gua sha-shaped tip built right in. Have you guys heard of gua sha? It's that viral massage tool that moves fluid and tension out of your face. Less puffiness, a snatched jawline, honey, more definition in your face. Retinol firms and reduces fine lines, and collagen keeps your skin plump and structured. This cream has both of those things, arguably the most optimal combo for that snatched, lifted look all in one step. I am obsessed with the Gua Sha cream. First of all, it feels so cool to the touch when you put that on your face. It's just like, ah, this is lovely. It's like a little spa treatment that you can give yourself. I like to do mine at night after I get out of the shower. I rub the cream on my face with the little gua sha. I'm sculpting that jawline, honey. I got it on the cheekbones. And actually, I had a facial the other day, and the lady doing my facial, the professional, she said, "Do you use a gua sha at home?" And I said, "I do." And I said, "How did you know that?" And she said, "I didn't have those little like bumps in my chin or like different areas like that." So she could tell that I was using the gua sha. And I said, "Oh my God." I just feel like I wake up less puffy in the morning when I do it the night before. But you can do it whenever you want to. I, 10 out of 10, recommend this product. The Anua Gua Sha Cream value set is available at anua.com, already discounted. Use code MORBID for an extra 10% off. That's ANUA.com, code MORBID. This is a paid ad by BetterHelp. I happen to be somebody that struggles with people pleasing. So a lot of times I will build things up and up and up and up and up and then kind of get to the point where I'm like, I need to let this out to this person. Even in 2026, that stigma and just stigma in general can get in the way of a lot of things, like getting support for your mental health. Maybe you've encouraged friends to consider therapy while avoiding taking that first step yourself because you're busy. You're worried about what other people might think, or telling yourself that you should handle this all alone. But therapy with BetterHelp, the world's largest online therapy platform, can be a space to slow down and talk through what's been building before it feels unmanageable. Just take a short questionnaire to identify your needs and preferences, and BetterHelp will handle the initial therapist matching work for you. Their industry-leading match rate means BetterHelp typically gets it right the first time. Feel confident knowing BetterHelp therapists work according to a strict code of conduct and are fully qualified. Don't let hesitation hold you back. Find support with BetterHelp. Sign up and get 10% off at betterhelp.com/morbid. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/morbid. Every good detective needs a partner to support them on important cases. Think of a State Farm agent like your sidekick, there to help you along the way in your search for coverage. State Farm can help you choose the coverage you need, whether it's for your home, car, boat, or even RV. With so many options, it's nice knowing you have help finding what fits for you so you can get back to solving all of life's bigger cases. Go to statefarm.com or use the award-winning app to connect with a local agent and get a quote. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
So as this is happening, parents are obviously freaking out because their very young children are nowhere to be found after supposedly getting on a bus at school.
Well, this is like all day at this point,
Yeah.
11 hours.
And they're all calling the police, and then they all started helping the police look for the bus, because that was the first thing. They were like, we gotta find this. Where could this bus have gone?
Right.
It's a huge fucking school bus.
They're probably like, Ed.
Yeah, and I think that's probably, people are like, what the fuck? Like, where
Ed
did he go?
correct.
The FBI was called in to help. It was mayhem. And finally, they found the bus via an air search, because it was so well hidden in the bamboo field.
Wow.
That they just found. So the parents just found this abandoned
Empty
school
bus.
bus. And they found tire tracks moving away from the school bus, but again, no footprints.
No footprints.
So it was clear, and the police said it's clear that somebody has pulled another vehicle up to this bus and driven away.
Oh my God.
Can you imagine being a parent?
Nope.
Like, I can't imagine my child's being on that bus and just seeing like they've been kidnapped off a bus.
Right.
Like,
How do you wrap your brain around
I don't
that?
even. So children are screaming, crying, like I said, like vomiting. It was a nightmare situation. The older kids, as well as Ed, the driver, were just trying to console them. Even the older kids were stepping up, just trying to like. These kids are amazing, and this bus driver is amazing, because these older kids were like. There was some that were like, the oldest one was 14. His name was Michael. And he like stepped right up and just became an adult for these kids.
Oh.
Like, you know, and meanwhile, these are children. 14 years old, you're a child,
Yeah.
and you're having to be an adult for these little kids trying to be like, it's okay. They said that Ed was trying to keep them calm by singing them songs like Boogie Nights, Love Will Keep Us Together, and If You're Happy and You Know It, Clap Your
Oh my God.
while they're in the
I'd be like, I'm not happy and I know it.
Well, I guess they changed the words to If You're Sad and You Know It, Clap Your Hands.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It's so sad. Isn't this
If
just
you're
like
sad and you know it.
and literally everyone in the van is like clap clap.
Like what?
After almost 12 hours in that van, they were driven off the road and were again thrown all around the vans because they were like off-roading at this point. Then they stopped the vans. So first the kidnappers reached in the van and took Ed out and shut the door.
No.
So these kids said they just saw the van door open, Ed be dragged out, and the door shut.
Does Ed die?
No.
Oh, good.
Then the kids said they would open the door and just grab the nearest kid to the door, take them out of the van, and shut the door. So they were doing this one at a time. So they would do it again and again and again to every kid. So these kids all had no idea what was happening.
Right.
As far as they knew, they were being taken out one by one and killed.
Right.
I mean, that's what it looks like.
Right.
And one takes out, you don't hear anything, you don't see anything. Next one gets taken out. Like, I'd be like, yeah, they're taking them out and shooting them in the woods and leaving them for dead. So as they were pulled from the van, one man asked their name, the other asked their age, and the third asked their address. They also took a little piece of clothing from each of them. So the oldest boy, named Michael Marshall, the one that was 14, he said that the kids were just clinging to him in the van that he was in, like all the younger kids, they were just clung to him.
Yeah.
And he was just trying to be there for them. 14 years old. He said finally it was just he and the youngest, the girl named Monica, who was 5 years old, in the van. And she was just clinging to him for dear life. The kidnapper came and he went to grab Monica, but Michael said he couldn't bear to hand her over to him.
No.
Because again, he had no idea what was happening here.
Right.
And so he said he pushed her behind him and went ahead of her like a brave fucking man.
Oh my
at
God.
14 years old, like a brave ass adult.
Seriously.
But
But then poor Monica's just like sitting in the van alone.
well, and he said to CBS News, quote, "I had to take her hands from mine and rip and tear them apart, say it would be okay, and go with them and leave her. That was so hard."
God.
So this 14-year-old like understands like,
I need to know why this is happening.
well, what happened was the kidnappers, months before the kidnapping, had buried a moving van in a ditch in the California rock and gravel quarry.
Why?
They had each child and Ed climb down a ladder into this van that they had buried. In the van, they had put mattresses, water, peanut butter, bread, and cereal, enough for one meal. Not enough for any more. Stocked on one side and holes cut into boxes for makeshift toilets. They put all 26 kids and Ed in this little moving van that was buried under the earth in a rock quarry. Then they took up the ladder and told them all, "We'll be back for you," and then just shut the top.
No.
Yep. Before leaving, the kidnappers put a manhole cover on the entrance that they had put the kids in, like on top.
This is my absolute worst nightmare.
Yeah, and then they put 2 truck batteries over that manhole so they couldn't move the cover.
And then you're just sitting there like, are they gonna fucking come back?
Yeah, and then they buried the top of the van. They were buried under like between 6 and 12 feet of earth.
Nope.
Yeah. And they said they could all hear dirt and gravel being thrown on top of the van. So they were literally all
In my
sitting there.
mind, I'd be like, this is how we're gonna die.
Oh, they all said that. They said we all sat there and we're like, we are being buried alive. Like, we're buried alive. And some of them were like, as soon as I got down there, I was like, this is our coffin. This is our giant coffin that they're putting us in.
Why is this happening?
Yeah. I'll get to it, I promise.
Yeah.
Yeah. One survivor, Correjo Labandera, was 10 at the time. And she said, quote, "There were times we all thought we were dying. I promised God if I survived this, I would be the best little girl. I'd be the best little girl my whole entire life."
Oh my God.
That part, I just got like a little lump
Ooh,
in my
yeah.
throat. Because thinking about this 10-year-old being like, I won't
I'll
ever
do
do
anything.
anything bad again. Like, please just get me out of here. They were in this hole for 12 hours together.
Okay.
They said it was awful. I mean, the bathrooms were literally holes cut in 2 boxes. there's 26 kids.
Right.
So these are just holes filling up with everything. So the whole place is smelling of urine and feces, and kids are vomiting because one, they're in about 1 billion degree weather.
I was going to say people
They
probably have
haven't
heat
eaten.
stroke.
They probably have heat stroke. They're also just hysterical. So
Right.
of course, so this whole place is filled with urine, feces.
I'm never
vomit.
putting my children on a bus.
Oh, I never was anyways. Like I already told John, I was like, no, they're never
I already
going
told
on
Ed.
one. Yeah, I already told Ed. They're never going on a bus. Like my kids aren't going.
Because I don't know any.
It's just not happening. I don't trust anybody. I know there are beautiful bus drivers like Ed. Most of them are wonderful, amazing human
But I'm not
beings.
trying to chance it.
But I don't know you, and now
that I know this story, I'm just like, I think I'll drive my kid everywhere while they're wrapped in plastic wrap. I meant to say bubble wrap, not plastic wrap. That's fucked.
I'm just gonna Dexter up my kids and drive them places.
It'll be awesome.
It'll be fine. It's true. It's like you can't. I don't trust anybody. Kids, it's awful. So the kids were crying for their parents. Like Ed said, there was a lot of crying for Mama. Like, which just destroys my heart.
Why are you doing this to me right now?
Because there is a good...
Yeah, can we get to it, like
Michael,
real fast?
Michael the Brave, the
Yes.
14-year-old, I want to, he should legally change his name to that. He said that it would just be quiet, like dead silent in there all of a sudden, and then one kid would start crying, and the whole place would erupt into, like, screaming and crying. It was just a fucking nightmare. They all ate the food, and then because, again, this was, like, they're going on what?
Almost 24 hours.
Yeah, almost
over
24 hours of just insanity. So all the food was gone because it was only enough for one meal. And then they had put a ventilation, like a makeshift ventilation system in there because they would have just suffocated right away.
Right.
And obviously these guys are looking to keep them alive for some period of time because they put all this stuff in. Does this all have
to do with like ransom or something?
Yes.
Okay.
And the ventilation system they put in were just fans that were like put into this thing, and the batteries all died. So the ventilation system failed. So now they're all literally dying of like suffocation, heat stroke, just all of this. And then the roof began to literally cave in under the weight. It was starting to bow in. And like they could hear the creaking, like pieces of dirt were falling in. So all the kids were like, oh, we're going to die here after being literally buried alive. So Jennifer, the survivor that I mentioned earlier, told CBS News that once this started happening, they were in full panic mode thinking, this is it. Then she says, quote, we thought and they said, the older kids and Ed, if we're going to die, we're going to die trying to get out of here.
Yeah.
So this is when Ed and Michael and a couple of the other bigger boys took the mattresses. They stacked them all up under the hole that they were placed in, and they attempted to move the cover, but it wouldn't budge because it was, So Michael said the kids were all cheering him on. Like, they were all literally like, come on, Michael, you can do it, Mike. Like, it started turning into this, like...
I just got full body chills.
Right? I still get chills. At last, after, like, Ed and Michael and these other kids were trying for... They said, like, hours they were trying to get this thing to move.
They got it?
They were sweating. They're like dying of heat stroke. And all of a sudden, another kid looks and says, it's moving. I see it moving.
Oh my God, I'm going to cry right now.
Right? So they were all able to collectively push the cover out of the way. Once it was moved, the kidnappers had made a wooden box that was placed around the entrance. So it didn't go directly into the earth. You know what I mean? Like there was a wooden box over the hole. Okay. So Ed had Michael squeeze through the hole to get into that box and try to see what they were working with outside of the box.
Right.
So when he got up there, he realized that outside of the box was just earth. It was just dirt. So he had to dig. So he and Ed, they just dug and dug and dug for another hour or so until they reached sunlight. And when they saw sunlight, all the kids are freaking out. The sunlight's pouring into the place. They're all like, holy shit, we're going to get out of here. But then all of a sudden, all the kids are like, one, where are we? And two, what if they're waiting up there?
Right.
Because all of a sudden they're like, we don't fucking know what they want.
We don't
no
know idea
what's
happening.
We don't know if they've been sitting outside of this thing the whole time just watching us try to escape. Like, we don't know. But they were like, what else can we do? We have to
get out of here.
Yeah, so one by one they hoisted each other up out of the hole. Luckily, the kidnappers were not outside there. The kidnappers, where were they? They were all taking a nap.
Where?
Yeah, they were taking a nap at home. They had tried to call the police department to demand ransom of $5 million for these children's lives, but the lines were jammed because the kids' families and the media were calling nonstop. So they couldn't
have like a trust fund.
Yeah. So they couldn't get through to the police station to demand the ransom. So they were like, you know what? We're real tired. Let's just go to sleep.
Oh my God.
Let's take a fucking nap while these kids die beneath the earth.
We buried children alive.
But let's take
I'm
a
like,
nice
it was
nap.
tiring work.
Yeah, we buried children and a kindly old bus driver alive in the earth. But we are so much of a sociopath that we can lay our head down on the fucking pillow and go to sleep.
What I need to know is, how did three people this evil meet each other?
I have no...
How does the world bring that much evil together?
That it drives me nuts. And what kills me is, while they're all fucking sleeping, their quote unquote victims are just pushing through, just committing acts of badassery, getting the fuck out of that thing against all odds.
This is like a straight up movie.
It really is. And it's like, I love the idea of them just snoozing away, thinking they've buried these fucking babies in the earth.
And the
with
babies
this older
are like,
guy,
fuck you.
And these babies and this older guy are like, fuck off.
We're
And
getting
I
out
love
of here.
that they were like, we are not dying just sitting passively in here waiting for them. We are going to die getting out of here if we're going to die. Like, yeah, babies. So once they escaped out of the hole, they saw a man in the rock quarry. He was apparently, because this was a rock quarry, so it's a working place. People are working with machines and stuff. And the man looks over and sees them all coming out of
26 children coming out of the fucking ground.
Well, you know what he says? He looks at them and he goes, "The world's been looking for you." Right? Like,
I'm clutching my damn
doesn't
pearls.
that just like... Whew. When I read that, I was like, holy
Oh my God.
shit.
I just had chills for 5 whole minutes.
Yeah,
What
literally,
the fuck?
the world's been looking for you.
Oh.
Because the world had been looking for them. It was just, these are...
I was waiting for you to be like, he was going to say, like, the world is ending. Like, this is Satan's undead army. Like, that's what the fuck I would think. You see all these kids climbing out of the earth.
Probably just covered in, like, all kinds
muck.
of...
I'd be like, this is Satan's work.
Yeah.
This is the work of the devil.
Something bad's afoot.
And I would run.
Run.
And
But this
I
man
run.
turns around and says the most movie-worthy line I have ever heard, and just,
This
the
whole-
world's been looking for you.
This whole shit is a movie, and they're like, yeah, can you bring me back to the civilization of the world,
Please
sir?
help me. They were more than 100 miles from Chowchilla. More than 100 miles they were driven away from where they were. The police came, obviously, because the guy called.
That's what they do.
And Ed led all these and Ed had led all these kids out, like, to safety.
Oh my God, Ed. Did he get, like, the biggest heroism award?
Oh yeah, just wait.
Heroism, I said.
Heroism?
Correct.
Close. So the police had to take them the only place that was, like, safe for all of them to go, which was the local jail.
Oh God.
They weren't put in, like, cells or anything. They were put in these things, like, these rooms. But I guess the kids, when they pulled up, they were all like, we're going to jail? Like, why are we going to jail? They were all photographed. They were checked by doctors. They had interviews.
You kept saying, like, the survivors, and I was like, does somebody die?
No, that's why I didn't want to, like, give too much away. That's why I wanted to say. No, they were all relatively unharmed. There was some heat stroke. There was obviously shock and trauma. But physically, they were all relatively all right.
Oh my God, I hope this kid, when he gets caught, I hope his trust fund paid for their therapy.
Seriously.
This episode is brought to you by SoFi, the all-in-one finance app where you can bank, borrow, and invest all in one place. Let's talk about bank accounts for a second. The average bank savings rate is 0.39% in interest. You're earning pennies on your savings, and it doesn't have to be that way. But with SoFi's high-yield checkings and savings, the money barely making moves sitting in your savings account can earn over 8 times the national average savings rate with eligible direct deposit. No account or overdraft fees. We love transparency. You can get your paycheck up to 2 days early, plus get up to a $300 welcome bonus when you sign up with eligible direct deposit. Sign up for SoFi Checking and Savings at SoFi.com/morbid. SoFi Checking and Savings is offered through SoFi Bank N.A. member FDIC. Terms apply.
Need a boost? Sometimes all it takes is tapping into your inner cool. Icebreaker's gum helps you unleash the confidence within. Each chew releases a rush of icy flavor powered by cooling flavor crystals, sending a wave of refreshment to reinvigorate all your senses. Icebreaker's convenient pack fits everywhere, from car cup holders to backpack pockets, so you can find your cool wherever you go. Grab Icebreaker's gum online or at a store near you.
Getting scared is one thing. Getting a thrill is, well, you want more of those in your life. The Genesis GV70 is built to thrill, baby. A thrilling yet elegant design always makes driving the GV70 an exciting adventure. Its powerful athletic stance screams performance and turns heads. Everybody's looking at you, girl, or boy, or whoever. Command the road and experience a class-leading standard 300 horsepower. Oh my God. Plus, discover the different dynamic drive modes for all different terrains. Choose between the different terrain modes for whatever road conditions you may encounter. The Genesis GV70's award-winning technology and performance lets you drive with comfort and drive with confidence all at the same time. It's an exciting SUV with intuitive tech that can make your ride smooth even when the road isn't. And its blind spot cameras allow you to see what's next to you. It's like having eyes on the side of your head. That's pretty iconic. Its performance, by the way, is measured not only in power, but in how it makes you feel confident, sexy. The Genesis GV70. Learn more at genesis.com and feel the GV70.
Well, they were all given soda and apples at the police
Oh
station.
my God, stop it. That is so pure.
And then they were freed to go with their families, which all of them said, like, I think the guy, Larry Park, I mentioned, he said that he literally just like went, his mom picked him up in her arms and he said, I just said, hi mom, and put my head on her shoulder and fell asleep. Cause he was 6. Like, he was 6. He's this little 6. He's just like, hi mom.
I just keep picturing your kids.
Oh,
and
that's all I kept
am like,
picturing.
I don't even know
The
what
thought.
I would do.
The thought.
No, to these people when they
Yeah.
got caught, I would go to jail.
Oh, I would 100%.
I would just start ripping them apart with
Yeah.
my teeth.
I could not. The thought of it is unfathomable.
Yeah.
It really is. Like,
I would-
trying to articulate any kind of thought when it has to like putting myself in the situation, and none are coming.
I would turn into a creature and just rip them to shreds.
I would literally turn into my true form, and I would just
I
tear
would
them
call
apart.
upon Satan after Satan's work and just be like,
Literally.
yo, sir,
I need your help.
give me the power.
Give me the power. I would call upon the power of Menon.
I was literally going to say that after you said whatever
We would
you
call
were
the
saying.
corners craft style.
So hit me up with how these motherfuckers get caught.
So unfortunately, none of the kids could say a lot about what they looked like because they were
Except
wearing
they looked like
pantyhose
the
over
Easter
their heads.
Bunny.
Except they look like the Easter Bunny. But a team went back to the quarry to search the buried van for clues, and they figured out that the only person who would have access via a key to this rock quarry was Fred Woods, who was the son of the owner of the rock quarry.
You fucking straight up idiot.
Fucking idiot.
Thank God you're an
Of
idiot.
course, he became the chief suspect, and once they put it together, the other pieces, they were led to the other 2 fucking fools. Ed was also able to give one of their license plate numbers under
Oh.
hypnosis.
Shit.
Yeah, they put him under hypnosis, and he read aloud their license plate number.
I don't want to know what I would remember under hypnosis.
So here's Ed just helping even in like a subconscious state. Ed's
Wow.
just a big old help.
Ed.
Ed. So he's a hero.
Heroism.
2 years before this kidnapping, Fred Woods and his 2 friends, James and Richard Schoenfeld, the 3 kidnappers,
Duschenfeld.
they had been arrested for grand theft auto. So they were already had arrest warrants on them.
You're rich. Why are you stealing things?
That's what kills me. And that's what nobody truly understands about this. They were 3 rich fuckers.
Right. They're
And it's
fucking
like-
bored.
Investigators served and executed a search warrant at Fred's father's mansion, and they found one of the guns used in the kidnapping, so they were able to tie him. They also found a literal document labeled plan that
Okay,
detailed
literal-
the entire thing, along with a ransom note. Apparently, they have been meticulously planning this for over a year.
I believe it. I mean, that was so.
Yeah. It was
I hate
well
to say what I
organized.
was gonna say. I hate to say well orchestrated,
Yeah.
but it was.
And I mean, months before they were caught, this whole thing happened. That's when they started burying this van. So they were already like getting this all together.
To put that whole
Yeah.
like place together.
And actually they were able to gather witnesses that said they had noticed people digging in there like months earlier, but they didn't know why. So Richard Schoenfeld was the one who turned himself in. And as we'll see, he's the youngest one of the kidnappers. He seems to be the one that was along for the ride. Okay. And he shows the most remorse. He turned himself in.
So he's somewhat of a human.
He acknowledges that it's horrific and that like he acknowledges it. I'm not saying he's a good person. I'm just saying he's the only one out of the three that seems to
have any
truly
remorse.
have full remorse and to truly grip what he did and what he did to these kids for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, I just like.
And what we'll see is later, one of these kids actually like went and met him and like talked to him. Yeah. So James and Fred fled California. So Richard turned himself in immediately. James and Fred fled California. Fred went to Vancouver and was caught by the Royal Canadian Mounted Police.
Because they're awesome.
Yeah, Royal Canadian Mounted Police.
I want to be a royal.
The police put the three of them in, and James was also caught. I think just like somewhere outside of California. They put the three of them in a video lineup and told them to say phrases that the kids said they used during the kidnapping.
Oh, God.
And the children were all able to identify them.
They were like, it was that motherfucker, and that other motherfucker.
They literally had them say things like, shut up and sit down, get to the back of the bus, listen to what I say. Like all these things that the kids were like, yeah, they said all this. And then they had the kids come in and they all recognized them, which it's like more badassery because like
to be able to do that.
Yeah. All three pled guilty to 27 counts of kidnapping for ransom and robbery. They were all charged with 8 counts of bodily harm as well, but they refused to plead to it because all of them said that was going to carry a mandatory life sentence without the possibility of parole, so none of them would plead guilty to it.
Even though they were guilty as fuck.
Well, the kids all testified at their trials.
Right.
So they were like badasses again. February 17th, 1978, all three were charged with mandatory life sentences without the possibility of parole.
Because if you sat here and told me they got like 25 years, I would lose my noodle.
Well, unfortunately.
What?
Their lawyers appealed the charges of bodily harm because it said, although traumatic, real bodily harm as definition by law did not occur.
Eat my shorts.
So, like, are you fucking kidding me?
Oh my God. This is what I just thought. How do you, defense lawyers? How do, like, the defense lawyers?
I don't know how you defend these guys.
Of these people? What?
Oh, they should.
How do you lay your head on the pillow?
The ones that defended these guys should be ashamed of themselves.
How do you put your head on the pillow?
I don't know how you go to sleep at night defending someone like this.
When you know they're straight up guilty.
And it's like bodily harm. I don't give a shit if physically they're all like together. They are ruined.
Your brain is in your body.
Well, and as I read a ton about these kids later in adulthood.
How do you function? Fucked.
They were fucked. I mean, most of them had phobias well into life of like the dark.
Yeah.
Claustrophobia.
Yeah.
They wouldn't let their
humans alone.
They all have kids. A lot of them have kids now and they won't let their kids anywhere. Like they're like, I am the most overprotective parent ever. And it's like affecting my.
I'd be like, well, let me tell you about the time I was buried alive, child.
Yeah. Well, and so the sentences were gotten rid of and they were sentenced again to life with the possibility of parole.
Okay. I mean, I'm still pissed, but as long as it's life.
Well.
Did they get let out on fucking parole?
Richard, who was the one who turned himself in, the one I said seems to have the most remorse for it, he was granted parole in June 2012.
Why?
36 years after the crimes. 3 years after that, his brother James was paroled.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Fred is still in prison. Fred seems to be the ringleader.
Yeah.
He was always labeled as the ringleader. And the sheriff actually at the time said that James and Richard were just two kind of like dumbasses that just like did stupid shit. Fred, they said, was a true psychopath. Like, he was a sociopath.
I mean, clearly. Who fucking devises this plan in their mind?
He's still a piece of shit to this day. Like, he's in his, like, 70s or something.
What
and
is he
he's still a
doing?
piece of shit. He breaks all kinds of rules in prison, which is why he's not getting parole.
Good. Keep breaking those rules, Fred.
Exactly, because they always say an indicator of how you will be on the outside
is how you are right
if
now.
you can follow rules on the inside, and he can't follow rules on the inside. He constantly gets caught with, like, porn and cell phones in his cell. He's trying to run his businesses from inside prison, and he's, like, actually doing it.
What businesses?
I guess he has businesses that are already in his name because he's a little rich bitch, and they just got put in his name. So he's able to run some businesses from inside.
What is the point? You're not getting the fucking money.
It's the thing. He's still getting, like, richer in prison because I assume he thinks he's going to get out at some point.
That's
but
so
because he's
fucked.
such a fucking idiot, he's never going to get out. So why did they do this?
Why?
Apparently James and Fred were in debt from being dumbasses. They were
But
just
you
in
have
debt.
a trust fund.
But that trust fund wasn't going to kick in until he was, like, a certain age. So he couldn't have access to it yet. So he was like, oh, instead of working, I'll just kidnap a bunch of kids. And James, and again, I said, like, you know, Richard just seems like he was the younger brother taken along for the ride. James told a parole board in 2015 when he was paroled, quote, "We needed multiple victims to get multiple millions, and we picked children because children are precious. The state would be willing to pay ransom for them, and they don't fight back. They're vulnerable, and they will mind you."
That is the most fucked up sentence ever said.
And it's like, I understand that they're saying, like, they paroled the two of them because they showed remorse. They've been good in prison. And I guess that was the first time in 2015. That was the first time that any of the three of them had given any motive. They had no idea before this why they did this. And so, but what's bothering me is it's like, okay, so in 2015, this dude's standing before a parole board being like, this is why we did it. And it's the most fucked up reason ever, that children are vulnerable and precious and will mind you.
Also, can you let me
And
out
you
of jail?
parole him? I'd be like, what? Like, I understand you're looking at it like he's telling you the truth and he's giving you the insight.
Yeah, but the truth is horrifying.
But, like, how do you know he doesn't still think this way?
Right.
Like maybe he doesn't. I hope he doesn't. I do believe in rehabilitation.
Yeah.
Not for everybody, but I do believe in rehabilitation. So, God, I'm hoping these guys did come out of here and be like, I was 24 years old. I was 22. That's not who I am. Like, holy shit. But, like, that's scary to me.
It's so crazy because I'm thinking of, like, my friends. Like, I am 23 years old, and can
you imagine
No.
them thinking this way?
No.
Well, in Larry Park, the one I've mentioned a few times, the, like, 6-year-old who was like, I fell asleep on my mom. He met all three of these men and he forgave them.
Wow. That's the thing, though. It's almost like you would have to, because if you don't, how do you go on with your life?
I think that's what it was, too. He said he was, like,
That's how I
laying in
would
bed
feel.
one night, and he was like, he said he, like, looked up and was like, God, help me forgive them.
Like, I'm
I
never
need
going to
to.
be able to move
I need
on.
to move past this. And so Richard, in particular, has been cited as being, you know, the one that showed the most remorse. And there's a picture of Larry and Richard, like, smiling with each other.
So wild.
It's so bizarre, but you look at it and you're like, holy shit. Like,
I think it must help, too. Like, it's like meeting a monster. It's like somebody taking their mask off.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like,
it's like,
it wasn't real.
it's
Like,
like-
it was real, but, like,
you can shrink them down to size instead of them being this, like, larger
Like,
than life thing
entity.
because again, they were all, like, you know, 5, 6, 7, 10,
Right.
12, all that. Like, they were little, and these men were these big, scary monsters.
Yeah.
And in their mind, they're probably always been this big, scary monsters, and to meet them as adults and be like, oh, you're just
That's
a
what
little
you are,
bitch,
a
and
little
I can
piece
look
of
at
shit.
it's shrinking them down to, like, a size you can just flick them away at.
All right, keep going.
So the children, after the whole, like, experience, the children were granted a trip to Disneyland with
Oh my God,
Ed.
amazing. With
And,
Ed? Ed
with
got to
Ed.
go?
And Ed, the California School Employees Association in Sacramento, presented Ed with the association's citation for outstanding community service. Quote, particularly to 26 precious Chowchilla school children. The award was given by the governor, and he got many more heroism awards after that. And then 5 weeks after the kidnapping, the entire town of Chowchilla created and celebrated Ed Ray and Children's Day.
Stop.
With a huge celebration and parade where Ed and the kids were on floats.
Stop it right
There's
now.
there's like pictures of this and everything. It's
I can't
adorable.
believe I've never heard of this case.
Me too. It blew my mind. Like, Thomas, thank you for bringing this
You
to my
would think
attention.
that this should be a well-known
huge
case.
one.
Yeah.
And then I just found out, like, these kids did have tons of issues.
Of course
You
they
know,
did.
A woman named Dr. Lenore Terr, who is a San Francisco psychiatrist, actually wrote a book called Too Scared to Cry. She wrote about their trauma in this book. And she said, quote, "In 1976, we didn't know much about childhood trauma, much less how to treat it. Despite their varied backgrounds, every Chowchilla kid I interviewed suffered from PTSD symptoms for years after the kidnapping and burial alive.
Yeah.
Many of them were well into adulthood, having to sleep with nightlights
Oh my
because the
God.
dark was just so much that, like, they were just
So
traumatized by it.
triggering.
They suffered from constant nightmares, phobias. A lot of them had substance abuse and legal issues for a little while.
I mean,
But
yeah.
most of them turned their shit around.
That's
like,
good.
recognized what was happening and what this was coming from, and they were able to turn it around. And their stories are, like, amazing to read now. But a lot of them would say they still have these nightmares where they will be buried alive, or
Yeah.
that, like, they're lined up and shot by
my
these
God.
guys and stuff. Like, they just have these awful nightmares. And a lot of the parents of these kids said that when they first came back, it was years of them screaming in the middle of the night, running in
Yeah.
their bedroom in the middle of the night, like, thinking they were being chased. For a little while, they didn't know who the kidnappers were. It took a little while to find them.
Right.
The time between then and when they were caught, they said, was unbearable.
It must have felt like years.
Because they felt like they were going to come back and get them. Like,
Also, I feel like if I was a parent, I'd be like, no, you're not sleeping in your room tonight. Like, you're
Oh,
sleeping in my room forever.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure I would ruin my kids even further, because I would be like, you're never leaving my sight.
Yeah. No,
Like,
I'd be like, you don't have a room anymore. We're sharing.
yeah. And these poor parents were just like, after this hugely traumatizing experience that they lived
Yeah.
through, now they're living through
The
the
aftermath.
trauma once again with their kids. It's like, holy shit. Ed was hailed as a hero, like we said, like, his whole life. He was hailed
Good.
as a
He
hero.
deserves it.
But he was super humble and, like, would never
I know he
acknowledge
was.
that,
I
right?
knew it.
And, like, he's just adorable. His own kids said he just loved kids his whole life. Like, they were
Oh.
like, he was an amazing father. He's amazing grandfather and amazing great-grandfather.
Stop it.
Because he had great-grandchildren.
Hell
so, like,
yeah.
thank goodness Ed got to live to have great-grandchildren. And they said he was just one of those guys who just, kids were his world, and he felt like he had a duty to protect kids.
Yeah.
And he said about that day, he was like, all I knew was that I had to protect these kids. I had to make them feel like everything was going to be okay. Because even if they were dying that day, he was like, I wanted them to die thinking that everything was okay. And he was like, and I wanted to make sure these kids, his main goal, he was like, we weren't dying that day. My main goal was to get these kids back to their parents.
And he did.
And he did.
He moved a
So,
manhole cover
did, and he
with
fucking
2
fought.
truck batteries on it.
And he kept his shit together throughout this whole thing, and, like, maintained. I would not be able to sing songs. I would be bawling my eyes out in a
You'd
ball.
be like, don't touch me, I'm terrified.
Seriously. And Ed lived to be 91 years
Oh
old.
my God, that's amazing.
Which it's like, yes. he
Hell yeah.
Yes. Like, I wanted that. I was like, don't tell me he lived to be like 70. Like, tell me he's got a long life. 91 years old. He passed away in May 2012. And according to an article in the New York Times, his entire life, those children were by his side.
Oh my God, yes.
They all maintained, like, best friendships with him. Like, they all talked to him all the time.
my
They
God.
visited him. They said a lot of those children that he saved were there by his side when he passed away.
Oh my God.
And they had visited him consistently through his entire life. Like, they were with him throughout it all.
I love that.
Family members said Ray collected newspaper clippings about the kidnapping, but, like, he wouldn't talk about it. He just, like, silently have this stuff. And he also bought the school bus from it for $500 because he said he didn't want it to go to scrap iron. Because he was like, I feel like this is an important thing.
Wow.
Like, we survived. Like, I want this to stay.
Wow.
Where
did he put it?
His son said, quote, he parked it in the barn and he'd go out and start it every once in a while. He kept it for many years, but then he ended up giving it to an old equipment museum in La Grande, where it's still there for public viewing today.
Wow. If I was him, I wouldn't want to go in it ever again. I give
that's
him a
what
lot of credit.
He is. He goes in there and he starts it just to make sure it's like still working.
I wouldn't.
And the van is there in the museum today in La Grande, and a lot of the kids came back after he passed away, and they wrote messages to him on the outside of the bus.
Wow.
And you can look at it online. They all wrote like, "Ed, you'll always be my hero" and stuff like that. Like,
oh my God.
I know I like choked up.
Yeah, I
just got a
another
little
lump
that came a rocking him through.
Ugh.
But that's the tale of the 1976 Chowchilla school bus kidnapping.
Thank you, Thomas, for sending that to us.
Thomas.
I can't believe I'd never heard of that case before.
I'm shocked.
I'm ruined, but I can't believe I never heard of that case before.
Yeah, it's one of those that like you read it and you just think of what these kids went through, but then you're like, thank goodness. I mean, from what I read, I didn't see any like stories of, them really going down into like a dark place forever.
That's good. I'm glad.
Most of them were able to, and a lot of them say like, I want people to know these kids grew up to have wonderful lives.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't let these men take that from us. Some of them stumbled a bit,
Of
obviously,
course.
because I couldn't imagine living through that.
I
but
probably would have.
Most of them came out of it and were like, fuck that. I'm gonna forgive them. I'm gonna move past this.
Just even forgiving them is
yeah,
wild.
And as far as what I read, James and Richard have not been back to prison. They've not been in trouble again.
I hope
I don't
people
know
like
what they're doing.
heckle them like Lizzie Borden.
Oh yeah, I hope they get heckled with some fucking nursery rhymes and shit. Yeah. Fred, I don't know if he'll ever get out of prison.
He
and
better
I hope
not.
he fucking rots in there because he sounds like a fucking asshole.
He truly does.
So, yeah.
So pointless.
It's so pointless. That's the part that kills me the most.
Like, I'm in debt.
So pointless. Everybody's in debt. Who's not in debt?
Yeah, that's like the
Raise
whole.
your hand
That's
if you're
America.
not in debt. See, nobody's raising their hand.
No one in this room weighs.
Nobody.
No one in this
room.
room weighs their head.
Nobody in this room raised their
Am I
hand.
okay? Wow. Well, thanks for that.
You're welcome.
Can't wait to live my life now again.
Can't wait to hug my babies.
I'm not bringing them to school with you anymore. I
That's why I bring them. I will forever
what is that
bring my
word?
kids to school.
I renounce that.
I renounce that.
I renounce them going to
I
school.
rescind that.
So yeah, we hope you keep listening.
And we hope you
Keep
it
weird. But not so weird that you go to the store and you buy some nylons and you put them over your head and you're like, wow, I look like the Easter Bunny. I bet I should kidnap some kids because that's really fucked up. And guess what? You already have a trust fund. So why don't you stop being a fucking douche nozzle and just maybe wait until your trust fund hits and stop fucking kidnapping people? And also, how fucked up are you to dig the earth into the earth and put people in there and just like go fuck yourself, Fred, Red, and Poop? Those are your names. Bye.
Those are your names. Bye.
That was a good one.
This podcast is supported by Nurtec ODT, Rimegepant. We know you didn't ask for an interruption, but migraine doesn't wait for the right moment to interrupt either. It just barges in, takes your time, and throws everything off. So when migraine takes your time, take Nurtec. It's for the acute treatment of migraine with or without aura in adults. Nurtec can provide pain relief in 2 hours, which can last up to 2 days. Ask your healthcare provider if Nurtec is right for you because your time is for you, not migraine. Don't take if allergic to Nurtec ODT. Allergic reactions can occur even days after use. Get help right away for trouble breathing, rash, swelling of face, mouth, tongue, or throat. High blood pressure and Raynaud syndrome can occur. Get help for high blood pressure, numbness, coolness, pain, or color changes in fingers and toes. Common side effect is nausea. For full prescribing information, call 1-833-4-NURTEC or visit Nurtec.com. All right, back to your podcast, playlist, or whatever's keeping you going today.
That refresh you've been putting off until the right deal came along? It's here! Wayfair's Black Friday and July sale is happening now, so you can finally get the style you've been waiting for less. Get up to 80% off area rugs and up to 60% off outdoor and bedroom furniture. Shop Wayfair's huge selection of styles and find the piece to fit your style, budget, and space. Plus, free shipping. Black Friday in July ends July 27th. Shop today at wayfair.com.
Wayfair, every style, every home.